Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart.
Hezbollah is very smart. That's the Republican candidate's position.
Lawrence, calling a person or a group of people very smart doesn't mean you're embracing them. For example, Iran made Joe Biden send them billions of dollars. Iran is smart. Joe Biden is dumb. Let me give you another one. MSNBC, your outlet, made half of the country believe in the Russia hoax. MSNBC is smart, but at the same time, you are still a fake news piece of shit outlet.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is up out there, peeps? Oh yeah, that's one of my most recent favorite clips. I just thought I'd share with you because it's funny. So anyways, back to Iraq. What do we got going on over there? Still problems with the exchange rate that's being discussed. Solutions. Right now, I think the solution they've come up with is increasing the interest rates for customers if they deposit their money and leave it there. 7.5% is a pretty good size interest rate if you're going to leave your money in a deposit at your bank. Like I said, in the past, we used to have stuff like that, but we don't anymore, unfortunately. So let's get into Iraq and what is the latest and the greatest. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates if I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube, and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. I do want to take this time to remind you that I do have another website that you guys can come and join. There are videos on there, ones I can't post on YouTube. But also, if you want to support the channel, this is a good way to do so. It's $5 a month. That's not too bad. Because over here, we don't have any freedom of speech. Anyways. So I was going through some of the posts, and I saw this one. I believe Militia Man said you could go on his show and discuss this. Look, I said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm open to going on anybody's show, or they can come on mine. Either way, it doesn't make a difference to me. We can have a conversation as long as they don't want to be rude, and we can be respectful. I think it'd be a good video. I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation. So if this post is accurate and Militia Man does want to have a conversation, yeah, just let me know how to reach him, and I'll reach out to him, and we'll set something up. I don't have a problem with that at all. Alrighty, so it is coming out about the conversations that Putin and Sudani had while they were there. It says his advisor, Sudani's visit to Russia resolved its debts to Iraq, and this is what he will put forward in Washington. Yeah, I have no doubt that the Biden administration is going to give this guy or any of his delegations the third degree about what was spoken about while he was over there in Russia. Said the Sudanese visit to Russia has been resolved by the subject of its debts to Iraq, which seeks to resolve the strategic agreement with America as it does not need combat forces, but technologies, weapons, and equipment. Said the Sudanese did not address the issues of the Russian armament of Iraq during his visit to Moscow, which provided rapid armaments during the period of confronting the terrorist ISIS, and he now wants to invest in oil industries and invest in gas. So I like how Sudani is putting it out there. Look, we don't need your armed forces here anymore, but we do need help in these different areas. With everything going on over in Gaza and over in Israel, I'm sure that there's a concern by Iraq that they'll be used as a launching spot to monitor what's going on over there in Israel, and that's not what Iraq wants. But I like the way they put this. Iraq is eager to see the second face of America, which is the industrial, cultural, and economic, because its military face has become heavy and boring for the Iraqis. And the Sudanese will present this talk during his visit to Washington in accordance with the strategic agreement, in addition to opening the doors for investment for American companies in Iraq. Yes, open the doors. Can we all just get along? Let's get that economy going over in Iraq. U.S. military loans and aid to Iraq are up to $2 billion. And Iraq has its sovereign decisions and will not be with the axis against another axis. And in light of this policy, the Sudanese met the call of the Russian president to meet the interests of the country. See, that's what you want to hear from your leader. You want to hear that he's there for his people and what's best for the country, not what's best for other countries. From the first moment, the Sudanese government sent optimism to the citizens, and the ministerial platform was optimistic, and with the approval of all political forces through the personality of the president and the ministerial platform and the consensus on it. It sent optimism and is strengthened in the coming days. He stated that the government is working on different paths despite the difficulties, and the service effort team was established to avoid routine and budget problems. And there is a great work that is achieved at the level of services to reach areas that successive governments have not reached, and packages to unblock traffic jams, and the political levels, there is a great calm. So Al-Sudani is trying to just let the world know, look, the government of Iraq is calm and peaceful at the moment. There's no infighting, and that everybody is working hard to do what they need to do for the Iraqi people, which is really important if you want outside investors to come into your country. We reap the results of the electrical connection with Jordan and with the Gulf, which will be open very soon, and the construction of large electrical stations, and there is a large reduction of corruption in institutions and departments. And we have also won excellence in international and regional relations. But the supervisory role will be strengthened further after the provincial council elections, and there are legal mechanisms to follow up the work of the councils. With regards to the gas investment projects, gas projects in Iraq will be invested beyond the age of the government. And we have the 6 licensing rounds in the western region to be announced soon and carry promising numbers in the amount of free gas, and its level is expected to be large and high, and we have invited companies of all nationalities to invest in gas. He pointed out that the work on the implementation of the development road project is starting in the second year of the government's life, and all external parties are enthusiastic about the project, and the internal challenges remains dependent on political forces. See, what you hope is they don't get in each other's way. You know, you have to keep giving one political party concessions. It's like, nah, we don't need that, man. Let's just do what's right for the Iraqi people. In the banking sector, there's currently something different from previous governments, which is that the current government does not take a step randomly without planning and follow-up. And today, Iraq is moving towards localizing industries, and to promote industries, the private sector must be revived. In the budget of 2023, 1 trillion dinars were allocated to the development fund to support the private sector, and the projects themselves are the guarantees that are granted against loans, and product and consumer protection laws are present and important and may need to be trimming. There is no obstruction of an agreement government projects, whether economic, commercial, or international relations, that serve Iraq return to its pivotal role. And this is good, but differences may arise in the last year with the approach of the elections, and the Sudanese far from the interest of distancing itself from the provincial elections. Look, Al-Sudani has been doing very good about being neutral and everything, as he should. There's no reason for Iraq to get involved in any of the crap. Just keep moving forward, focus on your people, and you should do good. Get all of these projects funded, follow up on it, make sure people are not stealing money from you like they did in the past. Maintain relationships with everybody and grow your economy. That, in return, will grow the Iraqi Dinar. So, Al-Kademi, the decision to increase the interest rate will activate the banking system inside Iraq. So, will increasing interest rates on your account to 7.5% draw people in? Oh, heck yeah, it will. If a bank did that today here in America, you would see a lot of people run to it. So the Parliamentary Financial Committee considered the decision of the Central Bank of Iraq to raise the interest rates for bank depositors as a correct direction towards revitalizing and organizing the banking system. A member of the Finance Committee, Al-Kademi, said in a statement, the central bank's decision to increase the interest rate falls within banking reform measures and in implementation of Prime Minister al-Sudani's directive to move towards organizing and revitalizing the banking in Iraq. The decision to raise the interest rate will certainly encourage citizens to deposit in banks, which will stimulate financial movement and turn to investment projects, in addition to its positive repercussions by reducing the exchange rate of the dollar against the Iraqi dinar. That's really what the goal is. Because if this doesn't work, there's going to be other measures that need to be taken in order for them to do something about closing that gap between the parallel market and the set rate of 1,320 dinars. I don't know about you, but I'd like to see them do an increase in the Iraqi dinar's exchange rate just a little bit. Said the Central Bank of Iraq is moving towards real automation in financial transactions inside of Iraq. So on Monday, during the 31st meeting of the Ministerial Councils for the Economy, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq announced raising interest rates for the amount of depositors to 7.5% to encourage those citizens to deposit their money at the bank. So in this article is all the decisions that were made by the cabinet during this session for the day. One is they've increased the amount of oil that they're sending to China from 100,000 gallons per day to 150,000 barrels per day, and that's per their agreement. So for those of you who are unaware, China and Iraq have a work for oil agreement that Iraq will send them free oil. In exchange, they will fund and work on these projects that help the infrastructure over there in Iraq. Other decisions that were being made, they have decided to approve the exception of beneficiaries covered by social protection laws, allowing the continuation of the disbursement of the benefits for a period of 3 months after granting them the aforementioned loans, as confirmed in a letter by the Ministry of Labor. So, other decisions were the Ministry of Finance to sign a multi-annual maintenance project loan agreement for the benefit of the Ministry of Electricity under the guarantee of the U.S. Import and Export Bank, based on federal budget laws for fiscal years 2023 through 2025. The other thing I wanted to point out is that the draft law of the National Water Council was approved and referred to the House of Representatives based on the provisions of the Constitution, with the addition of the head of the advisory body to the membership of the National Water Council. So this is that group that should be focusing on building a dam right over there on the Tigris River, just like the other countries above them did. This way they have water there for farming. So this is funny. You got the President Biden asking al-Sudani to mediate with Iran amid Israel-Palestine conflict. So now they need a favor from Iraq? I would say, well, I don't mind doing it, but let's say you have, 14 banks on sanctions, and, we wanted to go do some speaking on your behalf. Maybe you might consider removing them sanctions, as well as the other 3 that you have on our currency, and then I'll think about it. Come on, al-Sudani, send me over. I'll negotiate on your behalf. So, President Biden asked the Iraqi Prime Minister to play a mediation role with Iran in order to contain any potential expansion of its conflict currently ongoing for 10 days between Israel and Hamas. A source informed the news that Biden acknowledged the official role of Baghdad in de-escalating the current crisis and spoke about the potential for a mediation role, especially with Iran, to achieve de-escalation. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do for me? If I do something for you, what are you going to do for me? Because that's how the United States is. A source added that al-Sudani expressed his belief in the necessity of containment and non-escalation, coupled with a ceasefire and the creation of humanitarian corridors to aid the residents of Gaza. So yeah, if al-Sudani, on behalf of the United States, is going to play babysitter, then you definitely want something in return. So it says that new central bank measures spark growing economic criticism. So the economic researcher counted the recent central bank measures on opening a hall to sell dollars to travelers and increasing interest rates to encourage citizens to save their money, formal solutions that do not deal with the roots of the problem, to continue the monetary imbalance and the risk of raising exchange rates and commodity prices without real intervention from the central bank to solve them. So this was a post that the researcher put on Twitter. It says that the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq from causing increase in dollar exchange rates and throws them on smuggling operations, local trade, and lack of control over outlets. So yeah, a couple of things. If Militia Man wants me to go on a show, I have no problem with it. I think it'll be a good show. Just let me know how to reach him, and then I'll take it from there. And then me and him could talk before we do any recording and see if this is something that we actually want to do. But as far as Iraq is concerned, they appear to be doing everything they can to stay out of any kind of hassle. And that includes sticking their nose in business that they shouldn't be in, which is what's going on over there between Israel and Hamas. But as you can see, President Biden wants to have a so-called mediator go over there and babysit everybody, including Iran, to make sure that things de-escalate. That's not what they want. I'm talking about the United States. They love for it to escalate, so they have another excuse to start funneling money to this World Economic Funds by claiming they're funding the war. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later. I'm out.